From late-night walk to $10 million Mala empire, young entrepreneurs inspiring success story. Singapore, while most students were winding down for the night, Lee Ray Sheng was just getting started. At 10 p.m., he was busy firing up the work at his stall in the Nanyang Technological University, NTU, hostel canteen, turning a quiet space into a bustling late-night supper hotspot. With a handful of garlic, fresh bean sprouts, and a splash of soya sauce, this second-year computer science student was about to embark on a culinary adventure that would change his life. Back in February 2020, Lee's venture, Ready Bihun, kicked off with a bang, selling out 200 packets of his $3 supper set featuring fried bihun, chicken wings, and eggs on just the first night. Within weeks, sales skyrocketed, and in just 2 months, he raked in an impressive $70,000 in revenue. We cooked 30 kilograms of bihun and cracked 500 eggs a night. It was pure madness, recalls the now 25-year-old entrepreneur. Lee's journey began with a simple idea. After often paying friends with cars to bring him economy bihun from a supper spot in Jurong West, he and his hostel mates decided, why not cook our own? Inspired by their late-night study sessions, where they whipped up plates of bihun with ingredients from the local Shingsayan supermarket, Lee invested $5,000 of his hard-earned savings from various jobs since he was 14, and rented a canteen stall. Every night, he and his friends worked tirelessly from 10 p.m. to 2 a.m., cooking up a storm. My friends helped out for food and $8 an hour, he laughs. But just as things were taking off, the COVID-19 pandemic hit. While many would have thrown in the towel, Lee pivoted his business model to offer telegram-based deliveries using a rented truck, generating an astonishing $600,000 over the next 2 years. Entrepreneurship runs in Lee's veins. As the second of 3 children to a sales engineer and a quality management consultant, he was no stranger to hard work. At just 13, he raised $600 selling bubble tea at a charity carnival. By 17, he was already working part-time and apprenticing at an online food ordering company, learning the ropes of scaling a startup. However, a personal tragedy shaped his outlook on life. After losing his younger brother to a rare immune disorder, Lee, then just 12, discovered he carried the same genetic risk. It changed everything for me. I became bolder and didn't want to live with regrets. I see my life as a storybook, and I want each chapter to be meaningful. If it ended now, I'd want it to be a good read, he reflects. In 2020, a casual comment overheard on a bus ignited a new spark in him. Someone said we only did well because we were the only supper option on campus, Lee recalls. Determined to prove them wrong, he set his sights on mala, a beloved dish among NTU students. With 12 mala stalls on campus, he was determined to create one that stood out. The mala soup was always too oily and numbing. I wanted to create one that you could actually enjoy, he explains. After persistent pestering, he convinced the best mala chef on campus to share his recipe for a fee of $888. Lee and his friend, Anran Yi, now 26, underwent a crash course in mala paste preparation, which involved over 50 ingredients, including 30 different spices. They even took part-time jobs at popular mala joints in Chinatown and Orchard Road to learn the trade. Anran, a data science undergraduate he met at a faculty orientation camp, became his co-founder and chief of staff at a hot hideout, overseeing human resources, finance, and marketing, while Lee took charge of business strategy and operations. With $40,000 saved from their bihun venture, they opened their first mala restaurant in a tucked-away corner of NTU's North Hill, aptly named a hot hideout. They were eager for a challenge, especially with a competing mala stall just 50 meters away. We wanted to show that people would come for our unique style of mala, Lee says. They invested $15,000 in renovations, painting the space themselves and sourcing second-hand furniture from Carousel. Lee cooked while Anran managed the cashier and washed dishes, with four friends pitching in part-time. Their take on mala was innovative, featuring creamy scrambled eggs and crispy deep-fried lotus root, potatoes, manchu, and luncheon meat. When they launched, they offered just 3 base options: mala collagen soup, non-spicy collagen soup, and mala seonggwa stir-fry, all at affordable prices. Word spread quickly through their Telegram group of 10,000 Bihun fans, and they made $1,000 on their first day. By the second month, they were already profitable. Lee's days were packed. He would wake up at 7 a.m., squeeze in an hour of schoolwork at the restaurant, and then attend tutorials in the brief downtime between lunch and dinner rushes. His social life took a hit as he and his crew scrubbed woks and restocked shelves while others partied. "I averaged 5 hours of sleep a night," he recalls, often studying late into the night for group projects. By mid-2021, with a growing team for full-time staff and a loyal student following, Lee was ready to expand off-campus. In September 2022, he opened a second outlet at a shophouse on Sembawang Road, distributing 5,000 flyers to drum up interest. As families and older customers flocked to the new location, they introduced non-spicy options like tomato collagen soup and oriental stir-fry. Today, customers can choose from 70 chilled ingredients, with prices based on weight. In 2022, Lee graduated with honors and briefly stepped back to work as an analyst at McKinsey & Company. However, a year later, he and Anran decided to close the bihun business to focus solely on their growing restaurant chain. In November 2023, Lee left McKinsey, recognizing the immense potential of a hot hideout. By January 2024, he was working full-time as CEO, and the third outlet at Kinex Mall broke even within 3 months. Anran joined him full-time in June after completing her master's degree. To ensure consistency as they scaled, they invested $200,000 in a central kitchen in Woodlands to produce their own mala paste. That year, they opened 3 more outlets, with plans for even more expansion. Today, a hot hideout employs around 120 people, and despite challenges like staff turnover, they've embraced technology to streamline operations. Lee's vision extends beyond just running a restaurant. "Success is seeing people come back," he says, reflecting on the joy of customers asking for less spice or bringing their families to enjoy the food. In 2024, he enrolled in an MBA program at Oxford, hoping to sharpen his skills, but ultimately dropped out to focus on his business. "I had to choose, and I chose this," he states firmly. What started as a simple late-night stall has blossomed into a $10 million mala empire, with projections to reach $20 million by year's end. Lee has ambitious plans to launch a halal-certified brand and expand into Malaysia and Indonesia, along with selling branded snacks and soup bases in 2025. Will he ever regret leaving a promising career at McKinsey and an Oxford MBA for the world of mala? Lee doesn't dwell on such thoughts. He's too busy crafting the next chapter of his remarkable story.